Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we'll be diving into the future of business and AI. Specifically, we'll be focusing on Microsoft's vision for 2025, where these things called co-pilot agents are poised to revolutionize how companies operate. Our source for this deep dive is a YouTube video from Nexatech. It's called Mind-Blowing Features of Microsoft's Co-Pilot Agents You Never Knew. When I first heard about these co-pilot agents, I imagined a robot butler bringing me coffee. But this is way more practical and potentially way more impactful.
It really is. What's fascinating is that Microsoft is going all in on these co-pilot agents. They think they're going to become the new standard for business applications. They're saying these aren't just some glorified chatbots. They're the next evolution of apps designed to execute complex workflows over long periods.
Hold on. So we're not just talking about asking an AI to write a quick email. We're talking about handing over entire business processes. That feels like a huge leap. What if an agent misinterprets data or makes a bad decision? What's stopping that from happening?
That's a really good question, and it's something Microsoft is clearly thinking about. They keep saying transparency and control are really important. You'll be able to see logs of your agent's activities, understand how it makes decisions, and even pinpoint and address any issues. Think of it like a comprehensive audit trail for everything your AI does.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better. So it's not just set the AI loose and hope for the best, but how do these agents actually know what to do? Do they get information from some secret AI vault?
Not a secret vault exactly. They're integrated with your existing systems, like Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, and other company databases. They use all of that data to understand your specific business context and needs. Imagine a sales agent, and it automatically drafts personalized follow-up emails, all based on a prospect's browsing history on your website. That's what it means to tailor actions to specific needs.
Wow. So it's like an employee who instantly knows everything about the company.
Yeah.
And can act on that knowledge. But with all this talk about AI doing our work, I have to wonder what this means for us humans. Are we all about to be replaced by robots?
I think that's a question a lot of people are asking. And it makes sense. It's really important to remember that these agents are designed to work with humans, not necessarily replace them. Think of them as super-powered assistants, freeing up humans for strategic thinking, creative problem solving, all of those things that humans are uniquely good at.
So it's more about collaboration than competition. Instead of being scared of AI, we should be thinking about how we can use it to our advantage. How can AI help us do more? Let's get practical for a second. Can you give me some specific examples of how these co-pilot agents could actually be used?
Oh, yeah. The video highlights a ton of potential applications: IT help desks, employee onboarding, sales and customer service support. Really, the sky's the limit. And Microsoft is already making this happen. They announced 10 new autonomous agents, specifically for Dynamics 365. Targeting key areas like sales, service, finance, and supply chain. This shows how committed they are to making these agents practical tools, not just some far-off futuristic concept.
Those are some really powerful examples. You mentioned these agents are autonomous, which makes me think about managing a really complex supply chain. How could AI possibly handle something that complicated, especially when there are unexpected problems?
Well, that's where these autonomous triggers come in. These agents are built to respond to specific events or changes, all within your business systems. Imagine a multi-agent system for supply chains. If a shipment is delayed, the AI would automatically detect that and take action to minimize the disruption. And get this, the agent doesn't just react. It can come up with different ways to complete a task, choosing the most efficient route or the most effective route, all based on real-time data. It's like having a super efficient project manager who never sleeps and can instantly adapt to changing circumstances.
So the agent can actually predict problems in the supply chain. That's not just reacting, that's getting ahead of things. That's what I find so exciting.
Yeah.
But are there any companies actually using these co-pilot agents? Is this all just hype, or are companies really seeing results?
There are already some really impressive success stories. Companies like Pets at Home are using these agents, and they're reporting significant cost savings. We're talking potentially saving 7 figures annually, at least according to the video. And even Microsoft is using co-pilot agents internally to make their processes more efficient. So it's not just theory, it's happening now, and it's already working for companies.
Okay, those numbers sound great.
Yeah.
BUT, is it really the AI doing that? Or are there other factors at play? How does Microsoft prove that it's the AI that's making the difference?
That's a good question. And honestly, that's something we'll want to keep an eye on. Anytime you implement a new system like this, it's hard to know for sure what's causing the change. But even with that in mind, the early results are definitely promising.
They really are. And this whole Copilot Studio idea, Microsoft making it easier for companies to build their own agents, that has to be a big deal, especially for small companies that want to use AI.
Absolutely. It's all about making this technology accessible. Copilot Studio gives you a really user-friendly interface to build your agents, even if you don't have a lot of technical expertise. And it's moving from private to public preview, which means way more businesses can use it. It's a huge opportunity for businesses of all sizes to experiment and innovate.
So it seems like Microsoft is really putting their money where their mouth is. They're not just talking about AI, they're actually building the tools for businesses to use it right now.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is that these Copilot agents are built on some of the most advanced AI models out there, including the OpenAI 1 series, which is specifically designed for complex reasoning. Think about it this way. Your agent isn't just following rules. It can reason like a human expert, making complex judgments based on your company's unique data.
That's incredible. It's like science fiction is becoming reality. We've been talking about a lot today. But before we get too carried away, can you give us a quick recap of the key takeaways?
Sure. We've learned that Microsoft believes AI agents are the future of business applications. These Copilot agents can handle complex workflows. They're connected to your existing systems, and they can be customized to fit different roles and departments. They're built on advanced AI models. They're becoming more accessible with tools like Copilot Studio, and we're already seeing real results for companies like Pets at Home.
That's a fantastic summary. It's clear that these Copilot agents could completely change how businesses operate. But I think the bigger question is, what does this all mean for you?
That's a great question, and it's one I think each listener should think about carefully. As we move into this AI-powered world, it's crucial to understand how these technologies will impact your industry, your job,
Yeah.
and even your daily life.
So what can our listeners do to get ready for this future?
Stay informed and be willing to adapt. Keep up with the latest developments in AI, explore the tools that are available, and don't be afraid to experiment. The future is full of possibilities, but you have to be prepared to embrace these changes if you want to thrive.
This has been an incredible look into the world of Microsoft's Copilot agents. We've just scratched the surface of what's possible. But I think it's safe to say that the future of business is going to be very interesting, to say the least.
It really is going to be interesting. And it's not just about companies adapting either. We need to think about the bigger picture. How will this affect society as a whole?
Okay, let's unpack that. What kind of societal impacts are we talking about?
Well, one major area is efficiency and productivity. Imagine if supply chains ran more smoothly, customer service was faster and more personalized, and administrative tasks were handled automatically.
Less time wasted on boring stuff. More time for innovation and solving problems. That sounds pretty good.
It could be, but there are also some potential downsides, like what happens to jobs.
Right. If AI can do the work humans used to do, what happens to those workers? It's a big question.
Exactly. We need to be really thoughtful about this transition. We need to help workers adapt, maybe with retraining or upskilling programs.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about preparing people for the changes it brings.
Exactly. And it's not just about jobs either. We need to think about education and training. How do we prepare future generations for a world where AI is everywhere?
That's a really good point.
Yep.
We need to be thinking long term. We don't want to create a future where only a few people benefit.
I agree. It's about creating a future that works for everyone. And that's going to take a lot of planning and collaboration.
Well, this video doesn't really get into those bigger societal questions. It focuses more on the technical side of these Copilot agents.
That's true, but I think it's important to keep those questions in mind as we talk about the potential impact of this technology.
Absolutely. It's not just about the technology. It's about how we use it.
Right. Now, going back to the video, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the OpenAI connection.
Right. These Copilot agents are powered by some pretty advanced AI, like the OpenAI 1 series.
Exactly. And the OpenAI 1 series is really interesting because it's built for complex reasoning, which is super important for the kinds of decisions these agents will be making.
So they're not just following rules, they're actually able to think critically and adapt.
Exactly. And that's what makes them so powerful.
That's incredible. It really feels like science fiction is coming true.
It does. And this is just the beginning. AI is advancing so quickly. Who knows what the future holds?
That's a bit scary and exciting at the same time, but it definitely feels like we're on the edge of a major shift.
We are. And it's up to us to make sure that shift is a good one.
Well said. I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about the potential for jobs to be displaced. I think it's something we need to talk more about.
Absolutely. It's a complex issue.
Right. But I think we have to acknowledge that some jobs will be affected by AI.
I agree. Some tasks are just better suited for machines, things that are repetitive or dangerous, or that require a lot of precision.
And as AI gets more advanced, it's likely that more and more jobs will fall into that category.
That's true. But it's not necessarily a bad thing.
How so?
Oh, throughout history. New technology has always changed the job market, but it's also created new opportunities.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the Industrial Revolution. It displaced a lot of agricultural workers, but it also created tons of new jobs in manufacturing.
Exactly. And I think the same thing will happen with AI. Some jobs will be lost, but new jobs will be created, jobs that we can't even imagine yet.
So it's not about stopping progress. It's about adapting to it and preparing for what's next.
Exactly. And that means investing in education and training, learning new skills, and being open to new opportunities.
I think that's really important for people to hear.
I agree. It's easy to get caught up in the fear, but I think the future of work is bright, as long as we're willing to adapt.
The video actually talks about how these Copilot agents can help companies adapt more quickly.
That's right. They can help automate processes, analyze data, and make decisions faster.
Which gives them an edge in today's business world.
Exactly. And it also frees up employees to focus on more strategic work.
So it's not just about efficiency. It's also about innovation.
Precisely, AI can help us work smarter, not harder.
I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about the future of work after this conversation.
Me too. It's an exciting time to be alive.
Me neither. Now, before we move on, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier, the importance of transparency in AI.
Yes, that's crucial.
If we're going to trust AI to make big decisions, we need to understand how it's making those decisions.
Absolutely. That means being able to see the data it's using, the algorithms it's running, and the logic behind its recommendations.
Right. It's not enough to just say, the AI decided this. We need to know why.
Exactly. And developers need to keep that in mind.
They need to design these systems to be transparent and accountable.
Exactly. And they also need to be open to feedback and willing to make changes.
Because ultimately it's about trust. Trust in the technology and trust in the people who create it.
Well said. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the activity overview feature.
Right. That seems like a good way to keep track of these Copilot agents.
It is. It gives you a detailed log of everything the agent does. You can track its progress, see if there are any problems, and review how it's making decisions.
So it's like a report card for your AI.
Exactly. And this kind of transparency is super important for building trust. It helps make sure these systems are working the way they're supposed to.
It also helps to spot any potential biases in the agent's decision-making.
That's right. By looking at the activity overview, you can spot patterns that might indicate a problem, and then you can fix it.
So it's not just about monitoring performance. It's also about ethical AI development.
Absolutely. The activity overview is great for both.
It sounds like Microsoft is thinking about the bigger picture, not just the technical stuff.
They are.
Yeah.
And that's good to see. Like we said, AI is a powerful tool. We need to use it responsibly.
I agree.
Now I want to hear more about the Activity tab. It sounds like another important way to understand how these agents work.
It is. The Activity tab shows you every single action the agent took. You can see exactly what it did, when it did it, and why it did it. So it's like a step-by-step breakdown of its thinking.
Exactly. And that's really important for debugging, finding biases, and making sure the agent is behaving ethically.
It also helps build trust with users. When you can see how the agent is making decisions, you're more likely to trust its recommendations.
That's a great point. Transparency is key for any AI system.
It sounds like Microsoft is really trying to make these agents as transparent as possible.
They are, and that's a good sign. As we move into this AI-powered future, we need to build systems that are both powerful and trustworthy.
Well said. I want to talk about something the video mentions, the importance of trust, dependability, and precision for AI.
Those are the foundation of any good AI system. If you don't trust it, you won't use it. If it's not dependable, it won't be useful. And if it's not precise, it could be harmful.
So it's not just about building a smart AI, it's about building one that we can rely on.
Exactly. And that's much harder than it sounds. It requires a deep understanding of how people think, ethical principles, and the specifics of whatever field the AI will be working in.
It sounds like a whole new area of expertise.
It is. The field of AI ethics is growing quickly, and it's going to be really important in shaping the future of AI.
It's exciting and a little bit scary.
It is. But I think if we're careful and responsible, we can use AI to do a lot of good.
Now I'm curious to hear more about the real-world success stories from the video.
Sure. The video talks about a few companies that are already seeing great results.
Can you give us some examples?
Absolutely. One example is Clifford Chance. It's a law firm that's using Copilot agents to automate things like document review and contract analysis.
That must save lawyers a lot of time.
It does, and it frees them up to focus on more important work.
The video also mentions McKinsey & Company.
Yes, McKinsey is a consulting firm. They're using Copilot agents to help with data analysis and research so they can make better decisions faster.
It sounds like these agents are really making a difference.
They are. And it's not just big companies either. The video also talks about Thomson Reuters. They provide news and information. They're using Copilot agents to personalize content recommendations.
That's a great example of how AI can improve the customer experience.
Exactly. And it shows that Copilot agents can be used in a lot of different industries.
These success stories are really encouraging.
They are. They give us a glimpse of what the future of work could look like, a future where humans and AI work together.
I'm really excited about the potential of this technology.
Me too. It's amazing to be witnessing this firsthand.
It's important to remember that we're all part of this. Developers, policymakers, business leaders, everyone. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Well said. And that brings us back to something we talked about before. It's not just about the technology. It's about the human values that guide its development.
It's about making sure AI is used for good.
Yeah.
That it benefits everyone.
Exactly. And that's a responsibility we all share.
I'm curious about something else the video mentions. Microsoft is using Copilot agents internally.
That's right. They're using their own technology to improve their own operations.
And it seems to be working really well. The video says their sales teams have seen a huge increase in revenue, and customer service is much faster.
That's impressive. It shows that Copilot agents can have a big impact.
And it's not just about efficiency. Microsoft is also using these agents to improve employee satisfaction.
That's important. AI isn't just about automation. It's also about creating a better workplace for humans.
So it's about empowering people, not replacing them.
Exactly. That's the real potential of AI.
I'm feeling really inspired right now. It's exciting to think about all the ways AI can make the world better.
I agree. It's an amazing time to be alive.
Absolutely. And we're all part of this journey. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Well said. And that brings us back to the heart of this conversation. It's not just about the technology. It's about the human values that guide its development.
It's about making sure AI is used for good,
Yeah,
that it benefits all of humanity.
exactly. And that's a responsibility we all share.
Well said. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on something the video touches on: the potential for AI agents to communicate with each other across different industries.
That's a fascinating idea. Imagine AI agents from different companies working together to solve really complex problems.
It's like a global network of intelligent machines.
Exactly. And the technology to make that happen already exists.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine a healthcare company using an AI agent to analyze patient data, and it detects a new disease outbreak. That agent could then talk to other AI agents at other healthcare companies, government agencies, even transportation companies, to coordinate a response, contain the outbreak, and find a cure.
That's amazing. It's like a global immune system for the world.
Exactly. And that's just one example. The possibilities are endless.
It's mind-blowing. But it also makes me think about security and privacy. If AI agents are sharing information between organizations, how do we keep that data safe?
That's a really important question. We need strong security and privacy measures to make sure our data is protected.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to do.
There is, but I think it's worth it.
Well said. Now, I want to go back to something the video emphasizes: the importance of transparency in AI development.
That's a fundamental principle. People need to understand how AI works, how it makes decisions, and what data it uses.
If we don't have transparency, we can't trust AI.
Exactly. And if we don't trust AI, it will never reach its full potential.
So how can we make AI more transparent?
One way is to make the algorithms and datasets public, so researchers and the public can examine them and find any biases or errors.
We also need to explain how AI works in a way that everyone can understand.
Exactly. We need to make AI accessible to everyone.
And we need to hold AI accountable.
Mhm.
So if it makes a mistake, we can fix it.
Absolutely. Transparency, accountability, and trust are crucial for AI.
Well said. Now I want to hear your thoughts on the future of work, as the video describes it.
That's a hot topic right now. Some people are worried that AI will take away jobs. Others think it will create new opportunities.
It's a complicated issue.
It is. But I think we should be optimistic. Instead of being afraid of AI, we should see it as a tool to build a better future.
It's not about us versus them. It's about working together.
Exactly. Like these co-pilot agents, they're designed to help us, not replace us.
So instead of worrying about losing our jobs to robots, we should be thinking about how AI can make our jobs better.
Exactly. AI can take care of the boring stuff, so we can focus on the more interesting work.
I like the sound of that. But that means we need to change the way we think, both as individuals and as organizations.
We do. We need to keep learning new things, be adaptable, and be willing to learn new skills. And companies need to invest in training to help their employees adapt.
We all need to work together.
Absolutely.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing from the video. The speaker says that AI agents are going to completely change how businesses work. They even say that yesterday's bespoke interactions with siloed business applications will just simply become co-pilot agents. What does that even mean?
That's a bold statement, but I think it shows just how powerful these co-pilot agents could be. Imagine all of your business applications working together perfectly, data flowing freely between systems, and AI working in the background to make everything run smoothly.
So no more switching between different apps.
Yeah.
No more data silos. No more doing things manually.
Exactly. It's about working in a smarter, more connected way.
That sounds incredibly efficient. But how would these co-pilot agents actually do that?
Well, remember how we talked about these agents being able to access data from multiple systems?
Yeah, they're like data ninjas.
Right. Now imagine them using that data to coordinate tasks across different applications, automating workflows, and making decisions based on what's happening right now.
So instead of us humans managing all those processes, we have AI doing it for us.
Exactly. And because these agents can see data from so many different places, they have a much better understanding of the big picture.
That's amazing. It's like having a whole team of virtual assistants, making sure your business runs perfectly.
That's a great way to put it.
It's a lot to think about. But I think we can all agree that the future of business is going to be very interesting.
It definitely is. It's an exciting time to be involved in all of this.
Well, I think we've covered a lot today. We talked about the technical details of co-pilot agents, and we talked about the bigger impact of AI on society and the economy.
We did. And I hope our listeners have a lot to think about.
I think so. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
AI is a powerful tool. It can change our lives in amazing ways, but we need to make sure that change is for the better. We need to be responsible, ethical, and focused on creating a better future for everyone.
Well said. And if you want to learn more, I highly recommend checking out that Nexitech video we talked about. It's a great introduction to co-pilot agents and the future of AI in business.
Absolutely. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to come.
So stay curious, stay informed,
Yeah.
and be part of the conversation. The future is being created right now. We can all help shape it. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.